Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Shyam, Jai Radhe Shyam. Jai Krishna Balaram, Jai Krishna Balaram. Jai Gauranitai, Jai Gauranitai. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Shadma. Sri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Shadma. Bandho muhi savadhano mahate. Bandho muhi savadhano mahate. Jahara Prasadibai He Bhavatori Ajai. Jahara Prasadibai He Bhavatori Ajai. Krishna prapti ho ja hoite. Krishna prapti ho ja hoite. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriyatya. Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chitete Koriyatya. Harana kori ho mane asha. Harana kori ho mane asha. Sri Guru Charane Rati Ese Yutamagati. Sri Guru Charane Rati Ese Samagate. Je prasade pure sarvo asha. Je prasade pure sarvo asha. चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से चक्षुदान दिलो जे जन्मे जन्मे प्रभु से दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो दिव्य ज्ञान हृदय प्रकाशितो प्रेमा भक्ति जाते अविद्या विनाश जाते प्रेमा भक्ति जहाँ होते अविद्या विनाश जाते वेरे गाय जार चरितो वेरे गाय जार चरितो श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदमा जनार बंधु श्री गुरु करुणा सिंधु आदमा जनार बंधु लोकनाथ लोकेरा जीवाना श्रीला प्रभुपाद लोकेरा जीवाना हा प्रभु करो दया देहो मोरे पाद छाया Koro doya deho more para chaya. Eve jasa gusuk tribubana. Eve jasa gusuk tribubana. Jai Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Jayo Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jayo Prabhupada. Prabhupada, 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 Jayo Jayo Prabhupada. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti-vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Vasatyadishatarine Prabhupada Prabhupada Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gora Bhakta Vrindam Nitananda Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Nita Nita Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gora Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Slow down, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare
Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Rama Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Ram Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Gopi Jana Balaba
Grivaradari Gopi Jana Balaba Grivaradari Yasodanandana Vajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Vajajana Ranjana Yamuna Chiravana Chari Yamuna Chiravana Chari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Balaba Grivaradari Gopi Jana Balaba Grivaradari Gopi Jana Yasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yasodanandana Bhajajana Ranjana Yasodana Yamuna Chiravana Chari Yamuna Chiravana Chari Yamuna Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai go Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Nitai go Hari Bo, Nitai go. Jaya Vishnu Paramahisa Parivrukacharya Astutra Sata Sishimad A.C. Bhakti-Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jaya Vishnu Paramahisa Parivrukacharya Astutra Sata Sishimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki ISKCON Founder Chair Srila Prabhupada Ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Grantha Rashmi Bhagavatam Ki Samavita Bhakta Vrinda Ki Nitai Gopi Manande. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the assembled devotees. All glory to the lotus feet of Sri Sri Guru Gauranga. Narayana Namaskritya Narayana Narottama Devam Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nasta Prayeswa Bhadresu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasloke Bhakti Bhavati Nastike Vede Ramayane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Ado Adyam Chamhade Chahari Savacha Gayati Mokam Karoti Vachalam Pangu Langrite Grihi Yakripataham Bande Sri Guru Dinatarine Paramanada Madhava Dhamma Praji Tukadavota Paramoni Mashamsatan Vedan Vastavam Atavastu Sivadam Tabato Yomolana Shima Bhagavate Mahamane Kitanki Vai Paraishvara Sadhurudi Abarudi Traka Pitita Kishanat Ingama Kapatalu Galitam Falan Sukam Mukam Travasanditam Pibatam Bhagavatam Rasamanaha Muhura Urasika Bhuvibhavaka Yashava Suyamana Yam Krishna Paramapurusi Bhakti Utpade Punsan Sukamoa Vayapaha Atoyam Pramasutranam Bharatata Vaninaya Gayati Bhasha Rupusho Vidata Paradimita Sabha Videti Asanam Saram Saram Paribhimita Sabha Vidam Tasaram Shri Bhagavatam Isate Tarasami Tasya Titasya Nanyatasya Ratikuti Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So we are continue the reading of Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, Chapter 8, the content of Lord Krishna showing the universal form to his mother. And of course, there is a very interesting pastimes. And this narration aroused the curiosity of Parikshit Maharaj because he was wondering how come the parent of Krishna, Vasudeva and Devaki, they were not as fortunate as Nanda and Yashoda. So this is the topic of this morning's Bhagavatam class. So text number 47. Pitaro Navavinditam Krishno Dara Bhakehitam Gayanti Adyapi Kavayo Yat Loka Samalapaham Vitarao Namvavinditam Vishnudara Bhagavatam Gayantyadyapi Kavayo Yaloka Samalapaham Vitaro Namvavinditam Krishnodara Bhaktihitam Gayanti Adyapi Kavayo Yatloka Samalapaham Vitaro Namvavinditam Krishnodara Bhaktihitam Gayantyadyapi Kavayo Yatloka Samalapaham. Come please. Pitaro Navavinditam Yaloka Samalapaham. Matajis. Pitaro Navavinditam Krishnodara Bhaktihitam Gayantyadyapi Kavayo Yaloka Samalapaham. Anybody else? Pitarao, the actual father and mother of Krishna. Now, note, Anvavinditam enjoyed Krishna of Krishna, Udara magnanimous, Abhakaihitam, the childhood pastimes he performed, Gayanti are glorifying, Adya Api, even today, Kavaya, great sages and saintly persons, Yat, which is Loka Samala Apaham, by hearing of which the contamination of the whole material world is vanquished. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Prabhupada Ki. Although Krishna was so pleased with Vasudeva and Devaki, that he descended as their son, they could not enjoy Krishna's magnanimous childhood pastimes, which are so great that simply chanting about them vanquishes the contamination of the material world. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, however, enjoyed these pastimes fully, and therefore their position is always better than that of Vasudeva and Devaki. Purport. Krishna actually took birth from the womb of Devaki, but just after his birth, he was transferred to the home of Mother Yashoda. Devaki could not even have Krishna suck her breast. Therefore, Parikshit Maharaj was astonished. How had Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj become so fortunate that they enjoyed the complete childhood pastimes of Krishna, which are still glorified by saintly persons? What had they done in the past by which they were elevated to such an exalted position? Gurave Gurachindaya Radhikaya Tabellaya Krishna Ya Krishna Bhaktaya Tabhataya Namo Namah Ajnana Timindasya Gananganan Salakaya Chaksusmita Yena Tasma Sri Gurave Namah Namamo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pishta Abdullah Srimati Bhakti Vinod Swami Tanamina Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Kucharina Nidhi Sasana Bhakti Pashtadishtarini Vanchakabhaturubhyascha Kripa Sandhyevacha Paditana Pavanabhyo Vaishnavyo Namo Namah. So I thank everyone for being here this morning, and especially to senior devotees like Panjagoda Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. So the very interesting pastimes of Lord Krishna, the childhood pastimes. We know that every parent, everyone who has, given birth to child, that everyone relishes their, childhood activities. It's a normal thing. Of course, when the children, when they become teenagers, we don't want them in the house anymore, correct? But when they are little, they are so good. We relish, So, Pitaro, Nava Vindetam, Krishna Dara Bakehitam, Gayanti Adyapi Kavayo, Yalo Kasamala Paham. So, Parikshit Maharaj is actually glorifying Krishna's childhood activities by saying, although Krishna was so pleased with Vasudeva and Devaki, that he descended as their son, they could not enjoy Krishna's magnanimous childhood pastimes, which are so great that simply chatting about them vanquishes the contamination of the material world. Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda, however, enjoy these pastimes fully, and therefore their position is always better than that of Vasudeva and Devaki. So one thing we should understand, it's not that after Krishna took his birth from the prison house of Devaki and Vasudeva, and that Krishna was adopted by Nanda Maharaj in Vrindavan, and therefore Krishna was raised that way. But that's not the case. Actually, in the beginning parts of Bhagavatam also, it was mentioned of how, and also in many other narrations, Harivamsa, Gopachampu, many scriptures, they've explained that Mother Yashoda was pregnant. She was pregnant, and She was pregnant with a twin, one boy and one girl. She was pregnant. Actually, for many, many years, when Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya, they did not have a child. They were childless for a long period of time. And they were becoming old. They are becoming old, So even the brothers of Nanda Maharaj, they were wondering that how come that Nanda he has such a sublime character. Being the leader of the cowherds, he has such a sublime character. But how come he's not having a child? How come? So they were all the elderly Brijabasis, they were all wondering this way. So Nanda Maharaj, and then she had a discussion with Yashoda Maya that there must be a reason why we don't have a child. There must be a reason why that we are not having a child. And then Yashoda said, could it be that maybe we have not properly observed Ekadasi? We haven't properly observed Ekadasi and Dwadasi. Could this be the reason why we did not perform, we did not have a child? So they decided to observe Ekadasi, actually Dwadasi, for a period of a whole year. They were observing Ekadasi. And after that, Mother Yashoda became pregnant. And of course, also explained that the Drona and Dara, this was the previous names of Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. Drona and Dara, they were demigods, Vasus. So they performed austerity for thousands of years. And then, so Lord Brahma became pleased with them, and Lord Brahma came, and Lord Brahma, and they asked for a benediction of Lord Brahma to be able to have the Supreme Lord as their child, by which he was granted. And of course, in the spiritual world, in the Golokdham, there is original Drona and Dara. There is the original there. This is explained by Jiva Goswami and Gopachimpu, that the original personalities are there, that just like when Lord Krishna came, he descended along with all his eternal Vrindavan, the Golokdham. He descended along with all of them. So all his eternal associates, they all came, like the Gopis, the Govardhan, Yamuna. So they all descended along with Krishna. And of course, they came first. So the eternal associates, Nanda, Yashoda, so they actually entered, and then they merged with the Drona and Dara, that is here in this material world, and then subsequently they took birth as Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. And of course, there's a very long explanation of this, but the main point here is that when Mother Yashoda gave birth to a twin, one boy and one girl, so when Krishna was brought from Mathura, the Krishna, who's actually Vasudeva Krishna, was brought from Mathura to Vrindavan, and that Vasudeva Krishna, because it was in midnight, it was midnight, just like we celebrate Janmashtami at midnight. So Mother Yashoda, she had just given birth, and she wasn't even sure because she was so tired also, she wasn't sure what what children she has given birth to. So when Vasudeva brought Krishna, because when Krishna appeared in the prison house of Kamsa, he came as if he appeared as four-armed form, Vishnu form, with big. It was not small. It was big Vishnu with four-armed form. But by the prayer of Devaki and Vasudeva and Devaki, so that Vishnu form transformed himself into a baby. So it's not that Krishna actually came out of the womb of Devaki. He came as Vishnu form, and then he transformed himself into a baby. So, and then Krishna was taken to Vrindavan. And then when that baby Krishna, Vasudeva Krishna, was brought from Mathura, and that merged with the original Krishna, Nandana Krishna, that merged with them. So that's the basic story. In some of the earlier purports, Srila Prabhupada also did mention about that also. Even sometimes when we say Devaki, the mother of Krishna, Devaki can also refer to Yashoda. Because Yashoda, she has two names. One name is Yashoda, another name is Devaki. So it's not that, it's Devaki of Mathura. So when Krishna is referred to Devaki Nandana, is being referred to actually that Yashoda. So Krishna, he has performed so many beautiful pastimes in his childhood lila. And these childhood pastimes, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful that mentioned here, Gayanti Adyapi Kavayo Ya Loka Sama La Paham, that this narration of Krishna's childhood lila is so captivating, it's so sweet, so nourishing, that the great sages, they continuously narrating this. They continuously narrating these childhood pastimes of Krishna. And they've been doing so since time immemorial. And mentioned here, Gayanti Adyapi Adyami, even today, they are still narrating Krishna's pastime, even up to today. So therefore, Parishi Maharaj said, Ya Loka Samala, that simply by this narration, all the contamination of this material world is removed. Which means just by hearing about Krishna's pastimes, all the reactions to the sinful activities can all be eradicated. And of course, we'll find this throughout the Bhagavatam, that says that just by hearing about Krishna Katha, all those things that are troublesome can be diminished, can be removed. In the beginning, Parishi Maharaj said, Nivrita She Upagiyamana, that is a Babo Shadi Chota, that Nivrita She that hearing it talks about Krishna is the only way by which one can cure the disease of materialistic existence. It talks about Krishna. So which means if you are looking for a solution to the trouble of this materialistic existence, just hear from the devotees, just hear Bhagavatam, hear the narrations of Krishna, then you find your heart becoming very, very much relieved of all the trouble of this material world. And then, of course, the gopi says, when they were in the forest, and that time because Krishna had disappeared, so they were hankering, they were searching for Krishna. And then as they didn't see him, so the gopis, they started singing. And one of their famous prayer is, Tabakata Mrita, Tapta Jivanam, Kavibi Uditam, Kama Sapaham, Shavana Mangala, Srimadatatam, Bhuviginantiye Buridajana. So the gopis are saying that the nectar of your words and the descriptions of your activities are the life and soul of those suffering in this material world. These narrations, transmitted by learned sages, eradicate one's sinful reactions and bestow good fortune upon whoever hears them. These narrations are broadcast all over the world and are filled with spiritual power. Certainly, those who spread the message of Godhead are most beneficent. It's a very, very powerful, very beautiful songs of the gopis, saying that the talks of Krishna Katha, is it gives relief from the sinful reactions of this materialistic existence. He said, Kavibi Uditan, which means the great sages, they talks about this. And that's why the sages, especially the devotees, when they get together, what do? They don't have any other discussion. When devotees get together, they simply talk about Krishna. Normally we say that Sadhu Sangha, Sabasasha Koi, Lava Mate Sadhu Sangha, Savasidi Hoy, that yes, the perfection of life is to have the association of sadhu. So when the sadhu devotees, when they get together, so Kapila Dev says, Sata Pashanga Mama Via Samvido, Bhavantari Kana Rasayana. He said, my devotees, when they get together, they discuss about my extraordinary activities. They get together and they talk about my activities. And then by such discussions, Ta Jo Shanan Apavaga Vatmani, which means Apavaga, these are the troubles of this material world. Yapavaga, which is heavenly, and then there's Apavaga, which is the hellish, troublesome. So, by Apavaga Vatmani, by hearing talks about Krishna, in the association of devotees, then all the troubles of material world just go away. And that's why the devotees, they're always happy. Only the non-devotees are not happy. The devotees are always happy because they talk about Krishna all the time. So Parikshit Maharaj, he was asking this question that how come that Devaki and Vasudev, they gave birth to Krishna, but they were unable to experience this childhood pastime of Krishna. Not only they did not even hear about it. They did not even hear about this. So how come? What is the reason why? So this is the curiosity of Parikshit Maharaj, that they did not even hear about this beautiful this childhood pastimes of Krishna, this Balya Lila. So Parikshit Maharaj he wanted to know, and then of course Sukadeva Goswami is going to be giving his answer, that the parents now, the thing about Krishna in Vrindavan and Krishna in Mathura or anywhere else outside Vrindavan is that in Vrindavan, Krishna is at home in Vrindavan, is at home. And being at home, Krishna is subordinate himself to his devotees. He remains as subordinate to his devotees. Whereas everywhere else is the absolute truth, whereby everyone prays to him. In Mathura, all the devotees there, even though like Vasudeva and Devaki, they only offer prayer to Krishna only. They only pray to him. Whereas in Vrindavan, nobody prays to him. All the Bijabasis, they simply see Krishna as the object of their bliss. They chastise him. If Krishna became naughty, just like he was going about stealing the butter or breaking into the houses, releasing the calves, and all the elderly gopis, they were accusing him that, oh, you're a thief and all that. And Krishna said, no, I am not a thief. You are the thief. And then they had to go and complain to Mother Yashoda that, oh, this is what your child has been doing. He's been so naughty. He goes about, breaking the pot of the yogurt, or passed urine all over the places. So they make all these complaints to Mother Yashoda. And of course, because Krishna is afraid of being chastised by his mother, So he would simply try to stay at a corner, being quiet. He would stay like a gentleman, okay, so that being afraid that his mother will chastise him. But there is no such a thing in Mathura. No such a thing as Vasudeva and Devaki chastising Krishna. Because they simply see Krishna as God, is there as the absolute truth. So the absolute truth only manifests himself only when he's outside Vrindavan. But in Vrindavan, it's a totally different thing, Vrindavan. Totally different thing. So that's why the devotees of Vrindavan, they are so much different than the devotees of everywhere else. It's like in Arjuna, he was offering prayer to Krishna. After seeing the universal form of Krishna, he was offering prayer that, oh Krishna, I have miscalculated you. I have dishonored you in countless numbers of times. I have dishonored you. So kindly forgive me. I can now see that you are the supreme in absolute truth. So Arjuna was making so many prayers to Krishna, and I was asking Krishna that, please tell me who you are, tell me who are you, all these things. So Arjuna was completely taken over after seeing the universal form of Krishna. And then, of course, Krishna explained to Arjuna that, yes, God loves me, that I am time, I am the destroyer of all beings, and all these things. So Krishna explained this to Arjuna. But Krishna's friend in Vrindavan is different like that. They never see Krishna as God. They never see Krishna as God. There is a statement in the Vedas that says that when the Lord was saying that the whole world, they offer prayers to me, just like in the Vedas, so many Shrutis are there, all offering prayers to Krishna. But the Lord said, I am not satisfied at all by all these prayers of the Vedas. I'm not satisfied. But I'm much more satisfied, much more pleased when my devotees of Vrindavan, when they chastise me. And especially when my friends, when they accuse me, when they say, oh, you think you are strong, I am much more stronger than you. And his friend in Vrindavan, they will chastise, they will challenge him, that, oh, Krishna, let us see how strong you are. Let us see how strong you are. So the nature of Brijabasi is actually not easy to understand. It's not easy to understand. And that's why Lord Brahma, he was making his prayer. He's saying, Aho Bhagyam, Nanda Gopal Rajako Sam, Yamitran Paramanandam, Puna Brahma Sanatana. So, Lord Brahma is saying, how fortunate. He said, how greatly fortunate are Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd men, and all the inhabitants of Vrindavan. This is from this is 10 Canto, chapter 14, text 32, in the prayers of Lord Brahma to Lord Krishna. He said, how greatly fortunate are Nanda Maharaj, the cowherd men, and all the other inhabitants of Brajabhumi. There is no limit to their good fortune, because the absolute truth, the source of transcendental bliss, the eternal supreme Brahma, has become their friend. So the how Bhagyan, the Brahmaji, because he witnessed when he was in Vrindavan, and he tried to cause some mischief by stealing away Krishna's cowherd boys. He put them in a cave and all that. So somehow Brahmaji, he saw these pastimes, this relationship that is there between Krishna and the Brijabasi. So he became amazed. He became amazed. He said, Aho Bhagyan, this is how fortunate are the Brijabasi. How fortunate are they? And then he said further Ahoti danya prajago ramaya. Stan yamritam pitam ativa temuda. Yasan vibo. Batsa taratma jatman. Yati toye adyapi na chalam adwara. O Almighty Lord, how greatly fortunate are the cows and ladies of Vrindavan, the nectar of whose breast milk you have happily drunk to your full satisfaction, taking the form of their calves and children. All the Vedic sacrifices performed from time immemorial up to the present day have not given you as much satisfaction. And the Lord Brahma continued. He said, Esandrubaya Mayima Chitatabadashtam Ekadasaiva Ivayam Bataburi Bhagam Eta Desika Chasakai Hasaki Pubama Sabadayon Griuraja Madhu Amrita Tasavanti. Yet, this is 10:14:33. Yet, even though the extent of the good fortune of these residents of Vrindavan is inconceivable, we 11 presiding deities of the various senses, headed by Lord Shiva, are also most fortunate because the senses of these devotees of Vrindavan are the cups through which we repeatedly drink the nectarian, intoxicating beverage of the honey of your lotus feet. So because Brahmaji and all the presiding deities of the senses, there are 12 of them, 11, who are the presiding deities of the various senses of the body. Here, the eyes, and all that. So Lord Brahma is saying that we are so fortunate because these Bhajavasi, they are drinking the nectar of your activities, of your lotus feet, through their senses, the eyes, the mouth, the ears, and all that. So because we are the controller of all these senses, so we're able to indirectly drink this nectar also because they are the controller of the senses. So therefore, we're able to also drink this nectarian honey of the Lord's Leela. So this has been explained this way, that the fortune of Bhajavasi, because Bhajavasi, as I explained in meaning, they are not ordinary personality, they are not ordinary persons. So therefore, the distinction between Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, between Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj and Devaki and Vasudev, the distinction is there, as La Prabhupada mentioned in one of the purports, that the status of Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Maya is much more higher than the status of Devaki Vasudev. Actually, Prabhupada said that he says that so many times, he said it's thousands of times much more higher than the status of Vasudev and Devaki. Because Vasudev and Devaki, they performed their austerity for so many for thousands of years, basically. Through the 4 yugas, they performed their austerities so that they can have the Supreme Lord as their child, so that they can give birth to the Supreme Lord. But they only gave birth to Krishna, but they are unable to experience the childhood pastime of Krishna. So therefore, to them, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna is the Supreme Absolute Truth. But Nanda Maharaj, Krishna is simply their child. So there was one time, in Lila, some of Krishna's friend, They were joking with Krishna. They were joking with him. They were making him, they were teasing him. They were saying that, oh, Krishna, you are blackish, and your mother is, fair skin, fair skin. So you could not have been Mother Yashoda's child, because your complexion is different. Mother Yashoda is whitish, fair skin, and you are blackish. So therefore, how can you call yourself the son of Mother Yashoda? Mother Yashoda did not give birth to you. So his friend, they were teasing him this way. So Krishna went to Mother Yashoda, crying that, oh, Maya, is it true that I'm not your child? You didn't give birth to me? Is it true? Because my friend have said so, that you did not give birth to me. Is this true? And then Mother Yashoda said, what? I swear by my ancestor, everything. You are my child. I gave birth to you. You are my child. There's no such a thing of you not being my child. You are my child. And you always be my child. So this is the, so some of these, things are there. Now we see that in this chapter, which is dealing with Krishna's showing his universal form, to Krishna, because when they complained to Mother Yashoda that he has been eating clays and all that, he's been eating dirt, and when Mother Yashoda called Krishna that, oh, Krishna, you've been eating dirt, all your friends, they complained. They came to me and tell me, even your brother, Balaram, he also said so. So Krishna said that this is simply a conspiracy against me. It's a conspiracy against me. This is a lie. I cannot eat dirt. This is not true. And if you don't believe me, look inside my mouth. Look at my mouth if you don't believe me. Somebody should say, okay, open your mouth. Let me see. So Krishna opened his mouth. And Mother Yashoda looked inside. What did she see? She saw the entire cosmic manifestation. She saw all the universes, all the planets, all the luminaries, the sun, the moon, everything, different demigods, all the Lokapalas, so many things. She also saw Vrindavan, and she even she saw herself looking into the mouth of Krishna. So, because, even though Krishna does not really manifest his opulence in Vrindavan, but his opulence is always there simultaneously. After all, he said Bhagavan means the one who's full in 6 opulences. His opulence is always there. So from time to time, this opulence will sometimes also manifest in Vrindavan. But again, the Lord will always employ his Yogamaya potency to cover his opulence, to cover his vibhuti. The Lord will always employ the Yogamaya potency to cover this. Like Srila Vishnu Chakravarti is saying that the Lord has 2 main potency. One is Sarvagyan, the knower of everything, the supreme omniscient. And then another aspect of his potency is Mugdhata, being forgetful, Mugdhata, being forgetful of himself. Just like when Krishna was crying, when Mother Yashoda tried to tie him, as we're going to be reading in the next chapter. So Krishna was, when Mother Yashoda caught him, and Krishna was crying, he was crying because he was afraid that his mother was going to beat him. So the Acharya was explaining that this kind of Krishna, he wasn't just faking it. He wasn't just saying, oh, I am God, but let me just, I'm just pretending to be this way. Krishna was feeling it. He was actually doing so for real. Just like any child would be afraid of their mother. Krishna is actually doing so for real. So therefore he was crying because he was afraid that his mother will beat him. So this potency of Mugdata is always there. And this only possible only in Vrindavan, whereby Krishna feel himself as being subordinate to his devotees. It's just like when Uddhava came to Vrindavan, because Uddhava came after Krishna had left Vrindavan, and all the Brijabasis, they were all, they were full of separation from Krishna. They were all crying day after day because Krishna had left Vrindavan. So Krishna sent Uddhava to Vrindavan to go and give consolation to the Brijabasis. So Uddhava came, and Uddhava, he wasn't an ordinary person. Uddhava was a perfect person. He actually has the same form as Krishna. He was he has the same exact. He was exact replica of Krishna. So when Uddhava came, and he was preaching to Brihapati, because Uddhava was also a disciple of Brihaspati, very highly learned person. So like a teacher, he was trying to preach to the Brihapati that Krishna is the supreme absolute truth. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Krishna is everywhere, so therefore you do not have to lament for Krishna. So Uddhava was going around trying to tell the Brihapati that they should not lament for Krishna. And of course, no one took him serious. And then he went to the house of Nanda Maharaj. And they trying to tell Nanda Maharaj that, oh, Krishna, don't just call Krishna your son. Krishna is the supreme, Krishna is God. He's the supreme Lord. Why you don't call him your son? He has come here to give you happiness, but the whole world is worshiping him. So why are you crying? Stop crying. Krishna is God. So as Uddhava was talking on and on this way, so Nanda Maharaj said, Uddhava, just keep quiet. You don't know what you're talking about. Krishna is my son. What kind of God is that you say your Krishna is your God? Krishna is not God. Krishna is my son. Don't you know that many times when Krishna is a child, he will become afraid of something, and then he will run and jump on my lap for protection. So how can you call him that is God? What kind of God is that? We know that Narayana is God. He's the supreme personality of God, but not Krishna. Krishna is my child. He's my son. And then Nanda Maharaj will be describing so many childhood pastimes of Krishna and all that. And as he will be describing this, he will be crying, trying to describe all so many wonderful childhood lila of Krishna. He will be crying. And then he told Uddhava, he said, Uddhava, if you said that Krishna is God, and God has been your house, if God leaves your house, shouldn't you cry for that? God is leaving your house, and then he left your house. Shouldn't you cry for God leaving your house, for God leaving your vision? Is that not the ultimate goal of the devotees? So therefore, you don't know what you're talking about. We said that in order to attain Krishna, we have to cry for him. In order to attain, unless you cry for Krishna, you cannot attain him. You cannot attain the Lord unless you cry for him. So, and of course, Uddhava experiencing all this, hearing this from Nanda Maharaj, experiencing the nature of the Brajavasi, the activities. So he became defeated. He was defeated. He became defeated. Gyan Gudri means somebody who became defeated in his knowledge and all that. So this wonderful narration of Krishna to Parikshit Maharaj, it's going on, and it's becoming more and more sweeter. Parikshit Maharaj is asking this question. He was full of ecstasy, full of ecstatic. I want to know more about these Brijabasis. I want to know more about them. How come their position is such a highly elevated position, much more than the Mathuras? How come? So I want to know. So he was he was asking this question so that he can know more, he can get much more deeper into it. Because we know that Parikshit Maharaj, he had been fasting for the past several days when he was hearing Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. He had been fasting, but because he's been hearing the nectarian topics about Krishna, he's not feeling any hunger, he's not feeling any thirst, nor does he feel any need to even go to sleep. Many of us, we come to Bhagavatam class, that's the best time for us to go to sleep. We sleep when we come to Bhagavatam class. But Parikshit Maharaj was hearing Bhagavatam from Sukadeva Goswami. He was relishing it. There was no hunger, there was no thirst or desire to sleep. He just completely hearing. He was so attentive. And of course, if you're hearing Bhagavatam, which means the way, but for us to get the effect of Bhagavatam is when we hear Bhagavatam, we should be very attentive to the hearing. If you are very attentive to the hearing, then you can get the benefit. Otherwise, if you're not attentive, you're thinking of something else, then we will not get the benefit of hearing Bhagavatam. Anyway, this is a wonderful topic. I'm just trying to, recite something. Hopefully I can get the benefit from this recitation, and also by devotees listening, I can get benefit from that also. So thank you very much, Prabhu. Some comments? Okay.
So it's amazing how Krishna reciprocated with Devaki and Vasudeva by taking birth and showing him his Vishnu form. That was the reciprocation of love. And then he reciprocated with Yashoda and Nanda in even a more glorious way of exhibiting his childhood pastimes with Yashoda and Nanda. So showing that he actually reciprocates his devotee is not a physical bodily combination that I came from this place or that place. In the mysteries of this Krishna appearing here, there, and that Krishna appearing there. It's all one Krishna, the Supreme Lord, reciprocating with his devotees in different relationships. Yeah. And like you said, Maharaj was amazed at how fortunate were Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj to have the Lord personally exhibit his wonderful childhood pastimes in front of them. And as you mentioned, by attentively hearing these pastimes, which are timeless, it helps awaken one's desire to, be entering those pastimes. That's my comment.
Yeah, thank you. Anybody else? Some question? Anything? Yeah, that's why it's a Gayanti Adhyapi Kavayo Yaloka, that just by, the Segi, they've been narrating this pastime since time immemorial, and therefore we get benefit from that. Anyway, thank you very much. If there's another question. Grant us Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Hare Krishna.
Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare